Hello and welcome to Casual Shenanigans Gaming, a podcast all about Battlefield, DayZ, and PC gaming in general. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah, also known as JERMgaming, and this week I am joined by the most people we have ever had on one podcast at one time, and so we will start with Chris.
Hello.
And Evil Viking 13.
Hey guys, I am Dave, the not so evil Viking 13.
New to the podcast, but a dear friend of us and a good member of We Are the Rivals, Edgar.
Hey guys.
Also known as Yako.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone?
And then we are joined by friend of the podcast, James.
Hello, I'm James.
What's up, James? What was that?
To life.
To life, love, and loot.
All right. Well, thank you.
That's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
And then Joel.
Hey guys.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Okay. To the one viewer that's joining us, I don't know. Can viewers leave comments while we're doing this? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Anyway,
we're about to find out.
Watch them.
Guys, behave, or you don't get any more. Anyway, we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight. Do you want to start with the Battlefield news, or do you want to start with the news, or what do you guys want to start with? Battlefield. Okay. So in Battlefield 3, we have a lot of fun, and we try to play competitively, and none of us are the absolute best by any means, although Dave is really awesome at jets, as far as I can tell.
Ish.
Well, any match we're ever in, you're pretty much the best person there. So from time to time, we enter servers where people are not happy about the fact that we play together and communicate and don't just steal the vehicles to drive them into the ground and, try. And occasionally,
how dare we try?
Occasionally people complain in the chat, and it's one thing if someone's complaining in the chat, that happens. Someone will get all butthurt that you killed them or something, and that's not that big a deal. But occasionally an admin gets upset, and then we get kicked,
or banned,
or banned from the server for the crime of not doing terrible. So how many of us have been banned from a server before for that reason?
Well, Dave and I got banned just the other day, wasn't Dave? Last week?
Yeah, I think you and I have at least 2 servers that we were banned from at the same time within minutes of each other.
I've only been banned twice, which I guess is more of a testament to my playing, but it's annoying because, well, is it annoying? What do you guys think? I guess we should start with that.
Well, it's definitely annoying. There's no question about it not being annoying for us being banned. I do though. I mean, you look at the admins and you hate them, and it's childish, immature, whatever you want to call it. But I actually don't blame the admins as much as I blame the developers of the game, because they're, it's for me it's kind of like hacking, right? If there's no punishment for this type of behavior, people will do it. When you build a game, you're building it for everybody, and there's players out there that will abuse it if you don't have any type of punishment for them. So if you get banned, you get stats padding, they're going to wipe your stats and they're going to kick you from the game, and now you got to buy a new version of the game. But when you create the rule where anybody can buy a server, anybody can, as long as you're paying, then you kind of feel like you create your own rules. The other thing that drives that too, I think, it's the fact that you can join any server. So if you really suck at the game, say you're a beginner and you join the server and there's a bunch of level hundreds in there and you just suck, and then you go ahead and buy the game, then you're not going to have a good experience. So in a way, I think DICE, the developers, are allowing people to do that. It's allowing people to put stupid rules in there and not punishment, even though it's kind of on the the rules of the game, you can't do that. It's still, I really blame the developers, not so much the users. In a way.
Well, there is a system in place for banning and kicking and that sort of thing, mainly intended, like you said, for the cheaters and the hackers and stuff like that, the stat padders. Technically, it is against the terms of service to kick players just for being good. It's just that DICE is not very interested in enforcing the terms of service, because that's just a large amount of work, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how they would do it. I agree that, but they're allowing this. I don't know.
My question is, how do you know they're banning you because you're just really good?
Do
they say that?
Yeah,
Yeah, they tell you. Well, no, they don't say because you're really good. They'll give you some reason like I don't
suspicious KDR or possibly hacking.
Well,
Yeah.
see, we're actually on a server. Dave and I were playing there, and then what did it say, Dave, on the description there? Like we ban aggressive playing or something. I can't remember what it was.
No aggressive players.
What does that mean? Yeah, and then we're
talk it
aggressive
out,
because we're
guys.
killing everybody.
Was the name of the server like the French server? Or something? Welcome to France.
It was the relaxing luau server. We're supposed to hold hands and sing camp songs.
Yeah, like aggressive player, that doesn't even make sense because this is a game about war where the objective is literally to kill everyone on the other team and take all of their stuff.
You guys weren't playing like in an easy map or something like that for early players, were you?
No, well, all the servers that say noobs welcome, really what that means is level 100's camping server.
Yeah. All those servers are total honeypots for new players.
Well,
It's-
not sure
it's
that's
just
the
to
word
sucker
I would have
people in.
used, but I guess I know what you mean.
Winnie the Pooh?
I love the word
Master
honeypot.
players are Winnie the Pooh, and that's my honeypot.
Look at all the level 1s.
Like camping's kind of a good example of it, right? So you build a game and then you say, all right, some players will camp. They're just scared of that. So how do we avoid people from camping? Well, we put a scope on sniper or like the blink, or there's different things that you do to try to avoid people from kind of managing or playing things in the game that that normally players would do it anyway. So I do blame developers as much as the admins to say, hey, we should do something to not allow lame guys to just change the rules and do those kind of things. And if you're going to allow them, you got to punish them somehow or implement a way for us to report on them.
So do you think it would be better like if you could still run a server like you can now, but you didn't have all the options? Because if that's a problem, because if you give someone admin permissions at all, they can ban people. But sometimes, I don't know. It's difficult because if you give someone admin permission, you want to give them, like if they buy a server, you want to give them the ability to kick people who are abusing the system.
Exactly. Yeah.
There are a lot of good admins out there. I've seen some servers where a cheater shows up, and instead of everyone having to like change servers, the admin comes on and boom, they're banned in like 2 minutes because the admin's like watching the reports and all. That's great to see. That's useful.
Yeah.
Are admins supposed to be on 24/7?
Well, I mean, not like one person, but
No, is that the rules? Like you have to have an admin if the server's running?
no, I don't think so.
No,
Is
no.
it?
Then
No.
how can you enforce it?
Well, you can't really. That's why a lot of servers, even
That's why
privately
only
owned ones,
official servers work the best.
I wouldn't say that. But official servers, generally, they're more balanced. Like, if you don't want to play Team Deathmatch nonstop on No Char Canals or Metro 24/7 or something like that, a regular server, I was going to say a real server, but an official server is probably the way to go. One thing I've done to kind of slim down the number of just junk servers is I only play on ranked ones. I don't know if you guys do that.
Yes.
But there are still plenty of options available, and I imagine I'm missing most of the total junk. I assume. I don't really play much on unranked servers. The last game I played on unranked servers was in Black Ops, and that was a giant mistake because hackers were everywhere.
Well, if you play enough, I think most people will save a list of favorites with servers. With the good list of servers, they're out there. You can find it on YouTube and other places what servers people are playing and just get the good ones and forget about and I think maybe that's a way for us to avoid them too, is to publicize which servers do this kind of crap and maybe complain about it, and then people stop doing it.
I've been naming and shaming on my Battlelog profile and Twitter. I don't have like 1,000 followers or anything like that, but generally it spreads a little bit from there. And Jeremiah, you actually mentioned the ranked and unranked thing. I've heard that recently DICE has been enforcing the terms of service if they get a few reports about that server.
Oh, really?
And and the punishment is DICE will actually go in and switch their server to unranked until they confirm that they're following the rules of the terms of service.
Oh, there you go. So if they are punishing people, then hopefully this will stop, and then maybe they publicize that, and people are a little bit more afraid of creating stupid rules.
But are we in agreement that we should still have servers available to rent or to buy? Like, are
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
in?
I
Okay.
think so. I don't think that's a bad decision. No.
I mean, most of the time it's fun. Like, it's very rarely any actual issues with the admins. And I mean, it's the type of thing like if an admin kicks you, you just go find a different server. It's
Right.
Battlefield. It's not like there's a shortage of servers. And it usually is pretty funny when you do get kicked, because that's just kind of a little pat on the back of, hey, you're at least good enough that you annoyed somebody.
Yeah, and I think people complain, but deep inside we're all proud for hey, we've been banned from it. So it's a weird feeling, kind of.
Although, Dave, when you and I were kicked a couple of weeks ago, it was for like the suspicious KDR thing, but my KDR was like 1.8. Like,
Yeah, it was totally an excuse. I had like a 3.0 something. It wasn't. I mean, I was in a tank. Like, you were repairing me. That's why my KDR was high. They saw us working together, getting a decent KDR, and it was an excuse to kick us. Is all it was.
I guess. It was funny because they kind of like kicked you, and then I think you thought you got disconnected or your game crashed or something. And then like a minute later, I got kicked, and I saw the little message that basically said, "Go piss off."
I always think it's hilarious. Like, it used to make me mad. Like, oh, that's like so lame, because it's like metagaming. They can't win, so they go outside of the game to try to get an advantage over you. But now I just imagine like this like little playground where the admin's like, I don't like how you're playing. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. It's so childish. I do kind of. I wear like a badge of honor now. It's kind of funny, I think.
Yeah, from the other side too, I see the point of hey, I want to have fun. I don't want a bunch of super level 100 guys coming in and ruining my fun with my 5 friends that I invited for this game. We just kind of want to hang out and do it. So in that sense, should they have the right to do this, to play the way they want and kick people out that they they don't want to play with them, at that point maybe they should put a password or do something like that and not have it open, in my opinion. But when you have it open for everybody and then you start kicking, I think that's when then you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we still like Battlefield a lot. Little minor annoyances aside, it's still pretty awesome. And admins, if any admins listen to this, just like think about the people you're playing with and try to take your giant internet ego and maybe set it aside if someone is better than you, and then just let everyone have fun.
Now that you said that, they're all gonna just hunt for you.
I just started the game. Why am I banned already?
Well, my tag
They're
in
gonna show up
game.
at your house.
My tag in game is JERMguelzo, so you are welcome to hunt me down.
Hey, you should take his dog tags and then go ahead and just teabag him a few times. Just really teach him a lesson.
Hey, that's okay. You're not gonna find me because I'll be in Halo 4 anyways.
Ooh. Whoever, we've got like one viewer watching this live. Whoever you one stalwart person is, tweet at us. I'm just curious who the one person is who's decided to subject themselves to this misery. Anyway.
Let us know if you did it by accident, too. Did it on purpose or accident.
If so, we're terribly, terribly sorry.
Okay, are you guys ready to move on to the news?
Do we want to do our Battlefield news first before we?
Oh yeah, Battlefield news. Sure. What's the Battlefield news, Dave? Go ahead.
Just a couple small things about Endgame and Battlefield 4. Actually, huge shocker here, guys. Battlefield 4 confirmed for next gen consoles. I know we're all horribly shocked. I mean, who saw that one coming, right? And according to EA, it looks amazing. Once again, what a horrible shock. EA says their own games look amazing. I mean, I'm excited though. I mean,
yeah, I'm excited. I mean,
it's gonna be nuts.
This game was so good overall, and we can talk. We should probably wait to have that discussion until after in-game comes out, so we can say kind of definitively who was using a drum noise. Was someone using a drum noise?
I think someone was hammering. It was the admins coming into Edgar's house.
Okay, ban him in real life.
Anyway, we should probably wait till in-game comes out to have the discussion of how good overall was Battlefield 3, but we can all agree it's a really fun game, and hopefully they've learned enough things that by the time the next one comes out, they'll have stuff like, well, I guess it's maybe too much to hope for mod support, but maybe voice chat, would be cool.
Oh my gosh, what a crazy idea.
Or maybe when it launches, it'll work the first week. That'd also be cool.
You want it all, Jeremiah.
Maybe they'll have smoothed out battle logs so that I don't have to use Internet Explorer to get games to launch reliably. I make fun of Internet Explorer like everyone who likes computers does pretty much. But there's only one web browser that always can do Vimeo uploads and that always can launch battle log correctly, and that's Internet Explorer. So,
because they have to support it all.
but I mean, they're doing a better job. So,
Hey, Dave,
Speaking of them doing a better job, I don't know if you guys have seen the website, the browser you love to hate.com.
I've seen that.
They're actually
yes.
okay. They're actually building it into their branding and advertising push. That's impressive for anybody.
It is.
I thought
Well,
it was
you know,
clever.
Microsoft, they're doing a lot of really impressive things the last year or two. Like their UI design, everything, like the fact they're making hardware that's not terrible. They're doing all kinds of stuff that's pretty cool. So, yeah.
What hardware isn't terrible?
Except for Windows 8 UI. I'll
Yeah,
skip
you
that one.
still can't update your operating system without it crashing every 3 times.
That's not true. And the hardware I was talking about, Joel, is the Surface. The
Yeah.
Surface is a decent tablet.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Do you own one?
I don't own one. No, I already have an iPad.
So you've used it for how long now?
Not very long.
Oh, so that was a great review.
There's-
That was a great review, Jeremiah.
This is the
I-
Apple
In his
fan right now.
defense, he has a touch-enabled Windows 8 laptop.
That's true. That's true. So I've got the Surface experience just on a laptop.
Hey, just because my mom can buy me iPhone 5.
How do you know someone has an iPhone? They'll tell you. And if they're a real fan, they'll put the number after it.
Oh, hold on.
Hey, so back to Battlefield 4. We should go around and see what's the one thing that you wish Battlefield 4 has, and, you know, like that's included on it, and you really wish it had on Battlefield 3, or maybe you really wish they come up with for Battlefield 4.
Okay, you first.
I think for me is the making it more competitive. Like I think like we're kind of in the need of a competitive game for the competitive community, like you know, Counter-Strike was back in the day, and there's still a little bit of that. But I think there's room for a first-person shooter right now, and there's a couple
Vehicles.
with vehicles too, yeah, with all of that. But really focusing, I think what really drives that is the spectator mode, right? Like we don't have that, so there's no way for people to watch what other people are playing for cheating. There's no way for, you know, like if you have a LAN party to put that on the screen, or you know, in the competition, or to distribute that, you know, the games in there. So really, you know, recording and having that spectator mode is just key for it. And then there's a couple of like random things that happen in Battlefield that you'd say, okay, that really can't happen on a competitive game, for, you know, for players to just allow it for the randomness to happen, and you just die out of, you know, like what happened. You don't even know. It wasn't because
Bad
you
luck,
suck.
yeah.
Bad luck. You don't even know why that happened. And like sometimes when you're flying jets and you shoot and you throw your flares and it doesn't work, and then you're like, well, I threw the flares way before, it still got hit, you know, like, so I don't know if there's some randomness in there, or you know, some just I really for me is the recording and showing the spectator mode, that people can watch other players. That would be huge for Battlefield 4, and recording and be able to post this, you know, your videos on YouTube, and you know, create your own videos and things like that. That's going to be just massively important for YouTube. I really can't understand why they didn't do that for Battlefield 3. I guess they got rushed because of Call of Duty, but
Well, Battlefield 3, like that had a lot to live up to, because it was the first major Battlefield game since Battlefield 2. Like they had gone in a kind of different direction for the Bad Company games.
Right.
So this was supposed to be the first actual successor to Battlefield 2. So I think they probably were going to consider it to be a success if they just got it to work. Period.
that's a valid point. Yeah.
All right, who else? What are you looking forward to?
All right, I'll go next if no one else wants to.
Go, Dave. Go, Dave.
Screw you, Joe. It's my turn. Seeing Edgar covered the spectator mode, I would actually say some sort of ranking and communication systems for the teams. And for me, I would include some sort of commander mode, squad organization, and voice chat, like all wrapped into one package. Basically, a way for Battlefield to become a truly team-based game again.
Yeah,
I feel like-
I think I would go with. Well, that was kind of my thing too. I
yeah.
would say just smarter Battlelog stuff. Like Battlelog works decently well for the first real launcher of its type, but you know, it's a web browser. They should be able to do a lot of stuff with it. So I'm curious to see, like, could we have like a rewind theater, a replay theater like Call of Duty has, or just advanced stats tracking, stuff like that. I think would be really cool to roll out for the next one.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think for me is kind of linked to that. Like, I think about what I'd want to see in Battlefield 4, and so much of it is Like, you could add new weapons and vehicles, but overall, Battlefield 3 is a really solid, well-rounded game.
They have too many weapons in Battlefield 3 now. They don't need more weapons.
Yeah, but I think, you know, when I think back to me playing Battlefield, I played for pretty much a month solid, probably 40, 50 hours, and stuff started to happen with Battlelog where it, like, I couldn't play. I mean, you probably remember that, where you guys would be getting on for a match, and, like, there was, like, a month of time where... And I did some troubleshooting, but not enough to, apparently. But it came back after the next major patch was out, and it let me back in again. And it was just frustrating. I didn't want to deal with it, so I was like, I'll go play Skyrim. You know, if they could iron that out, that would help.
That's true. They did have a lot of stability issues.
Early
which is something
on,
Remember,
that,
you didn't play for like the first month because of the same thing.
Yeah, I had
flip-flopped.
all kinds of issues, but and issues with just like the game integrity failing and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. Although, on the positive side, when you do have to re-download Battlefield 3 over and over again, EA's download servers are screaming fast. Which, Edgar, if you want to
have.
Edgar, if you want to jump in and tell us how fast it is for you.
I'll let it go.
I was gonna talk about. I agree with Edgar about like more competitiveness. It's funny from going from Halo and playing Counter-Strike and even Call of Duty. I wish there was I mean, I know how I love having the server browser and being able to choose exactly what you want, but you never feel like you quite get into a server that you're actually going to be matched up with really good people of similar skills.
That's true.
You always get in a match. There's like 6 or 7 guys recording a video, like sometimes we do, or just don't know how to play, or you know, it's just such a huge match where you have some guy that's like a level 7 billion, and then everyone else is level 25 or something like that. Where in Halo, it's nice because you can jump in a match, and if you're a level 35, you might play against a level 45 and then a level 25. And it's like always like that. I mean, it's you'll always get a random time where some guy's really powerful, but most of the time it stays really balanced, and I miss that because I never feel like I'm actually playing really competitive. Like everyone on each team is actually playing to really win. You feel like some people are just trying to just mess around or do C4 jeeps and stuff, but they're not good at it. So it's just like, I don't know. It feels very sloppy. It's a lot of fun when we all play together, and then if it's only us sometimes, but it never really feels very competitive. Like you can't click on, I want to play on a ranked competitive server where if you do bad, your character gets like the XP gone or something like that. That makes everybody serious. Where, I don't know, it's not as competitive as something like Halo that feels like everyone's actually playing on their game like a swap mode.
I think it'd be nice if they matched people up by their score per minute, because rank could be kind of deceiving, but score per minute is a pretty good indication. Like you can kind of cheat the score per minute system, but it's hard to do. Like if you've got a high score per minute, you have to be doing decent.
It could almost be even a match between game types, where in SWAT on Halo, you're matched differently than if you play regular deathmatch. It ranks it differently.
Oh,
so
really?
if you're really bad, so you'll play with lower level people, I believe, on just regular team deathmatch or whatever the capture the flag is, than it is SWAT. So
that's kind of cool.
So that would be really cool. I mean, because I think it's really hard to make it extremely competitive when you have vehicles and all that kind of stuff. Then if you took away all that and you made it a smaller map and everyone has similar weapons, where this could just be complete chaos. But it'd be cool if there were actually a couple server types or gameplay types that were dedicated, specific guns, so that you know what you're getting into and everyone has the same set kind of thing. I think that would be really cool.
All right. So, is that it for Battlefield for this week?
Just one more really minor thing.
Okay.
I know you guys are just so excited about air superiority and all those jets. I know you're all just so pumped.
Especially James.
Look at that thumbs up right there. I thought it was kind of cool. In the trailer, I was only counting I think it was 12 to 14 jets at a time, but they announced today.
Only
I think it was
12 to 14 jets.
Well, you think about it, it's a game mode where all you do is fly. Like that's a little bit low compared to the 64-player conquest matches.
That's true.
They did announce that it is going to be a full 24-player game mode. It's 12 jets per team.
Do you spawn in the air, or do you have to take off?
As I understand it, I mean, there's no confirmation, but yeah, you spawn in a jet, you die in a jet.
Okay, I was going to say, because I can really see the landing and takeoff strips being absolute carnage.
Well,
so much death.
Think about how many, like with only 2 jets on per team, how many crashes there are between planes. And I'll think of that with 24 jets flying around. That's gonna be insane.
It'll be Ram City.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully it won't be immediate spawn.
I'm kind of excited because I'm a pretty good jet pilot, but there are definitely some players out there that they shoot me down once or twice. I just know, like, I don't even bother jets anymore for that match. With more jets per team, I think that'll give people who aren't as good at jets more of a chance to fly around, because those good pilots are going to be affected more by just random chance, like missiles and just being ambushed. They won't be able to dominate as much, I think, in the mode.
yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think that mode, people that are really good, they're not gonna be able to control all, like 12 people coming out. So I think the good jet pilots are gonna play on Conquest and Rush and all those those maps. Because there's no jets on Rush, but no, there are. Yeah. But anyway, But anyway, On I think that would actually allow other players that aren't as good to become good flying jets by playing this.
That actually, I probably will play jet superiority just so I can finally unlock stuff for the jets, because I typically get killed a couple times and give up. But if they automatically give me a jet every time I spawn in, then I can just die over and over and over, and eventually I'll get decent.
Is that the American dream right there? Free
the
jets
American
for
dream
everyone?
is to throw away $50 million jets every 30 seconds. That is correct.
I can't wait to hear.
I was just going to comment on that. I'm like, the amount of money that you'd be going through if this was a realistic scenario is just insane. Like, in real warfare, in the history of aviation, I don't think there's been encounters of that size in national conflict, other than like in war games.
Yeah. Never for jet combat.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to use the line, "Cover me, Porkins."
There's too many of them.
Oh. I can hold it. I can hold it.
Shut up, Skippy.
There'll be a lot of Star Wars music playing on my computer.
I was thinking of more Star Fox references.
That's so cool. Hey, guys.
All right.
I gotta get going, guys. I appreciate you guys letting me do this.
All right,
It's a lot of
Yako,
fun.
thank you for joining the podcast.
See you, dude.
Thank you.
Send me
See
your
you,
audio
man. See it.
soon. All right.
Enjoy the new Twilight movie.
What?
Oh, that's so boring. All right, you have fun with your bandana there.
Getting the low blows.
Yeah, that's a burn. Okay, now it's time to move on to the news, a purely factual segment where I do hard-hitting journalistic research into the major news of the past week or two, and then I read them to you guys. So, first item, we have 4 items. First item, EA and Ubisoft now carry each other's games on Origin and Uplay. Both companies say this venture will increase availability and support for their games. Both services are also now carrying games from other developers such as Telltale Games and Bohemia Interactive. Origin has also ordered a flag that says the No Steam Allowed Club, which they plan to fly proudly above their fort in an act of childish defiance. No word on whether girls are allowed into the club yet or how Uplay is preparing for the Soapbox Car Derby. In case you didn't pick it up from that, no Steam games, no Valve games. And I thought it was actually really funny. The company, EA, actually said, "This is so more people can play our games. That's why we're cross-carrying them." You think if they really wanted more people to play their games,
This
they would
is
put
why
them on,
we hate you.
right, put them on the #1 distribution service.
6 crappy services don't equal 1 good one.
So, item number 2. Crytek, developers of popular game franchise Crysis, recently stated that next-gen consoles have no hope of keeping up with mainstream PCs. In an enlightening interview, CEO Sevat Yerli also made some equally daring statements about how the sky is blue, exercise is good for you, and he really hopes Sony and Microsoft won't dump him. Item number 3. Activision has laid off around 30 staff as part of a move to reduce the number of licensed games produced by the publisher's various development studios. These 30 staff are responsible for creating over 45 licensed games per year, including such blockbusters as 007 Legends and Family Guy Back to the Multiverse. Activision was quick to point out that DLC for Call of Duty, Goose That Lays the Golden Eggs, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the DLC will not be affected by this.
Of course not.
And then, item number 4, Far Cry 3 has been a huge hit for developer Ubisoft. The game is not without its faults, however. Ubisoft have revealed plans to patch some things into the game. Possibly the most exciting change will be outposts that can be taken back over by the pirates. That was easily the best part about Far Cry 2, said absolutely no one ever. But I'm not kidding. They're really going to patch
That's
the
exciting.
game.
I hope
Well,
it's not the
they allow you to switch
24-hour
it doesn't
turnaround
automatically
time.
do it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't automatically do it.
No,
You
no,
have to
it's
choose if you
a
want.
Yeah, you have to choose it, and they'll take it back over gradually. Not like, did you drive around the corner? We took it.
Start walking away, turn back around, and it's like, "What's up? We're back! Surprise!"
Hi,
You leave
we
your
kid
mom's
you.
house. I take over your mom's house.
Why is it always have? Never mind. I just don't even whatever. All right. Hey, my DX Story stopped recording. It is now recording again. Moving on. We have started a new DayZ series, and you guys have, well, mostly on Dave's channel. We have a lot of DayZ viewers, and that's probably why a lot of you have subscribed to both of us. And we actually haven't been doing a whole lot with DayZ in the last month or two, but we've started a new series. Now, Dave, would you like to walk us through the new series and what we're doing?
Sure. The new series is called DayZ Breaking Bad, which basically means going against authority and breaking the rules and such. And we started the new series because basically we were tired of getting stabbed in the back, so now we're bitter and angry, and we're going to murder a lot of people with Joel at the helm.
Do we have a body count so far? That's something we should be keeping track of.
We should be keeping track
I know
of
it's
it.
been like at least 5, even in the 2 sessions that I've played.
I think we're probably in the low teens now.
I think upper teens.
Upper teens. We've killed a fair number of folks.
We should keep like a team kill to death ratio, like us versus other people.
Oh, that
yeah.
probably wouldn't look quite as appealing, because you have people like me who are like, let's airdrop into the airfield, it'll be fun, and then I land and someone's like,
Okay,
I'll
well,
kill you.
Team KDR minus key members.
Yeah, I died like 4 times in a row spawning on the beach, and I'm like, "Hey, friend." Bam, dead.
Can we also keep a separate track of the amount of war crimes that Joel has committed? Like, the amount of violations of the Geneva Convention per hour?
Joel, your mistake was saying hi, friend. I don't know if you've played DayZ before, but that's not really how it works.
Especially the way Joel says it, where he's like, "Hello, friend."
It's not
Practically
good enough just to
screams,
shoot
I
and
went to
kill
wear
them.
your skin.
That got really dark.
Never mind. Anyway, but yeah, it's called DayZ Breaking Bad. You should go check it out. Our plan is to just be mean. Although, so far
It has
we
more running in it.
we have created some habits in DayZ that are kind of hard to shake, like our pathological need to constantly just drive around looking for more loot and vehicles. Which isn't really how you kill lots of people necessarily, but we enjoy it, so we kind of default to that a lot of the time.
James knows what I'm talking about here when I say that I can't stop the loot. Okay, it's just part of my nature. It's just
Joel and I were playing Borderlands 2 the other night, and he had been playing, so he was a lot more leveled up, and I just started, so I was letting him run off and kill people. I'm just, searching through the rooms and getting stuff. Cool, I'm getting some experience points too. Thanks, Joel. Keep moving.
Yeah, I don't support those socialistic game modes, okay? I'm all about free market capitalism and my open world zombie survival simulator.
which
Hey,
means
everything about what I did was capitalistic.
Really,
I took for myself.
letting someone else work for you and then taking their spoils?
Yes, that makes me part of government. Very congressman.
Fair point. Fair
My
point.
name is Wilson.
Yeah, anyway, go check it out. You can be a part of the show by either watching us live. Hello, 3 viewers.
Dude, don't smile like that. That's really creepy.
Or you can write into the podcast at casualshenanigans@gmail.com, and you can ask questions. You can also tweet at us at casualshenaniga, no N. But this week we have 2 questions sent in by Bawis, B-A-W-I-S.
Gotta say that
Bawis.
like baby talk. Boweth. Hey, Boweth.
Sure.
Anime.
All right, roundtable questions. Question number 1. What is the weirdest or funniest Well, he said weirdest or funnest. Okay, what is the weirdest or funnest glitch you've ever seen in a game? We'll go down the line. Chris?
Oh. That's a hard question.
All right, we'll come back to you. Dave?
Thanks.
Man, this is actually a difficult question. I
James,
don't
you should be thinking you're next.
I know. Let's just go on the line until somebody comes up with
Here.
something. Jeremiah, do you have something in mind?
Weirdest or funnest glitch? Probably one of the weirdest is in Battlefield 3. Sometimes the chopper models don't load, and you'll see people with like just a tail rotor flying through the sky, sitting like little people sitting holding guns. So that's pretty weird. And then anyone who's played Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PC knows that there are just like glitches galore in that game.
Oh gosh.
You'll have things like, "Where's the ground? The ground's invisible."
Those
Or,
aren't fun glitches, though. Those are just terrible glitches.
"The sky is the color of blood," or the ever popular, "You made it 2/3 of the way through the campaign. I don't start anymore." Which is where
Okay.
I'm at now.
This isn't so much of a glitch. I do have something kind of glitchy that happened to me in Skyrim that I actually thought was hilarious. You know, the gigantic giants with the giant clubs that like Hulk smash you whenever you get close and piss them off. I saw one of them get into a fight with like this like wood witch, and the giant basically walked up to her and just smashed her with the hammer. And I swear she went into orbit, just like disappeared. And so I thought that was hilarious. So of course I promptly killed the giant, and while I'm looting him, her body like lands 40 feet away like 3 minutes later. It scared the crap out of me. I'm just looting away, thump. Like, what was that? Ragdoll was pretty impressive.
I think my favorite fun glitch is when you're in playing Fallout 3, and you go over to like you finish a quest line, and it's one of those quests where whoever you got the quest from comes running up to you out of nowhere, and your character will turn around, and it's always like it's like, "Hey there," it's like the neck is like turned around. It's like I just
Stare into
love
your
that.
soul.
It's like whatever you're doing, your gun could be out and shooting some monster, and the guy's like, "Hey, I got a message for you," or something. It's like, what the crap? I love that. It never gets old.
I would say my favorite glitch is.
All right.
I think the
going
weirdest
old.
I think what
glitch-
I'm
Oh, go James.
Go ahead. We're going in some weird order anyway. I think the original Unreal Tournament, like just falling to the floor and then just being able to run around under the level and being able to look up and see everything. I'm like, oh, this is great. I can't shoot anything or shoot anybody, but I can see all the developers' fun stuff. And
That
I
actually
think,
happens in Battlefield too. It happens in Battlefield
Yeah.
3.
Also, it happened to me a couple times in Oblivion. Just get stuck in a rock and just jump in.
Yep.
I can't get out of the rock. I'm like, if I jump this way, no, I jump this way. Yeah, I'm screwed. And then Fallout 3 always, or maybe it was New Vegas, where you'd like be walking and you'd see the bad guy and they'd be like going, with the wireframe. Like a couple times it scared me. I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's just bad graphics.
In Oblivion, when I played, I think on the PS3, I actually got to the point where I could carry like 800 pounds because I had like a bunch of enchanted stuff. And there was a house in some city. It's one of the houses like you can buy. You clear it out of ghosts. It's right next to a pond. Does anyone remember which city I'm talking about?
I don't remember the city, but
I remember the city, but not
house.
the name.
Okay. So what I would do, I was a little bit of a pathological thief, and I would always steal like every book I came across, and I would bring it back to my house and just dump it in the middle of the floor. And so it got to the point where I had literally hundreds, possibly thousands of books. And so one day I decided to see, this was when I was playing on the PS3, I decided to see how much it could take. So I went into the house and I picked up every single item I could carry that was light enough that I could carry multiple ones. And I brought them all out to the pond. I swam to the bottom of the pond, opened up my inventory, and then just dumped everything. And then as soon as I went out of the menu, things just exploded outwards, like stuff, because like there was a whole bunch of objects in close proximity to each other all of a sudden. Some of them went flying up into the air. Some of them like completely filled the pond, and like stuff was flying all over the town. It was awesome. And then the game crashed and hard locked. But
Yeah, I don't know that that's a glitch. That's let's seeing how much the 256 megabytes of PS3 memory we can use at one time.
it was
think-
fun.
I think one of my favorite glitches was one that I encountered when I was playing Red Dead Redemption with my brother. It's a video that you can see documented online, but John Marston's wandering around in the wilderness, and if you're just lucky enough, you can sometimes find this woman who has her arms tied behind her back and a donkey's head. And somehow, weird. I don't know if it's an Easter egg and it's just really messed up developers, or if it was confusing meshes and stuff, but it was what looked like a beat-up woman who's tied with a donkey's head, and the kicker is you could actually get on her and ride her like a horse. Look it up. It's on YouTube.
I want to believe that's an accident, but it's Rockstar, so
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I pretty much love any glitch. I pretty much love any glitch where you can get unlimited money. Like, I enjoy going around and collecting stuff, but then there's a point where I'm just like, I just want to be completely rich. For no reason, I'll never spend the $4 million in Oblivion, but I just want to have it. To have it.
Well, there was a glitch in Gran Turismo 4. I don't know if it was a glitch or just an oversight, but there was this one rally race that gave you a super nice car, and it was only 2 races long. And you could win it as many times as you wanted, and they would keep giving you the car. So I pretty much had unlimited money. So I would just keep, I would go for hours. Back when I first got my PS2, I didn't have enough to do. I would go for hours just winning this tournament over and over and selling this car for like $250,000 every time. So anytime I had to buy a new car to participate in a new class of races, I don't know if you guys have played Gran Turismo, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a bunch of different classes. You have to buy a bunch of different cars to compete in. And every time I bought one, I'd immediately be able to put all the mods on it, which turns out to be really bad because you'd get a mid-70s old vintage muscle car with 800 horsepower that can't turn worth anything. It doesn't turn or stop. It just flies screaming into walls. But also, front-wheel drive vehicles with 600 horsepower, they don't turn ever. but the point was I could. But that was a pretty fun glitch. I definitely exploited that a lot. And okay, Bawish, or Bawish, however Joel said it. What is your favorite gun in a video game and favorite gun in real life? Who wants to go first?
I have a favorite gun in a video game.
Okay.
And it would be the semi-automatic shotgun from the original Far Cry. It
Good
just
choice.
had one of the best feels ever, and I loved it.
Good choice. Dave?
Man, maybe the M4A1 from Battlefield 3. I used that gun for a long time. I had to stop using it after a while just because it was top of my page. It would not go away for my most used weapon. It's kind of sad because it's not any one thing that makes it stand out. It's just that it was good overall. So it was pretty sweet.
All right, favorite gun in real life?
Do I have to pick one?
Yes, I'm gonna have to as well.
Man. Honestly, I'll say the 1911 just because it's a close friend after 3 years of carrying it. It may not be the best, it may not actually be my favorite, it's just my most familiar, and it's, reliable, it packs a punch, it's good times. Good old 1911.
Sweet.
Joel, that pretty much explains our friendship. It may not be the best, and...
It's one I'm most familiar with, you jerk.
All right, James?
I'm going to have to go with the Tesla cannon from Fallout 3. Just because I like that feeling of just pure domination as it walks around and just obliterate stuff.
Not the mini nuke launcher? Not the Fat Boy?
I never really did. I just didn't use it that very much.
You never really used the miniature nuclear bomb launcher?
I used it a few times.
Okay.
What kind of American are you?
The Tesla cannon was pretty awesome.
Real life, I'd probably say potato.
All right, I guess I'll go next. Favorite game gun? I don't want to be the cliche guy that says the gravity gun from Half-Life 2, although later in the game, when you got it upgraded so you could actually pick up people, I probably had more fun doing that than you're supposed to. But I would say shotguns. This is going to be a cliche answer, but I love shotguns in pretty much every game except competitive shooters where I think most shotguns are horribly nerfed. But in let's see, what games have the best shotguns? Fear, the original Fear has got an awesome shotgun. Half-Life 2, one of the best shotguns ever. There are other games I just can't think of right now.
You're supposed to pick your favorite shotgun, not every shotgun.
The Spaz 12 from Half-Life 2. I don't think it's officially a Spaz 12, but it's a Spaz 12. And then my favorite real life gun, surprise, is my 12 gauge shotgun. The ammo is cheap, and like it's one of the cheapest ways to get the most amount of smiles on your face. I'm telling you. Like, if you've never played Chase the Bucket Across the Yard with a shotgun, either you're not a redneck or you haven't lived yet.
Jeremiah, my question is, does your Mossberg know that you've cheated on it with my Remington 870? Because, I mean, you said some pretty nice things about the 870. Does your Mossberg know about that?
What Vera doesn't know won't hurt Vera.
Okay,
You have
and now
names for your guns.
I'm going to go ahead and guess that Vera is a reference to a certain series called Firefly, perhaps?
Maybe a little bit, yes. 100%.
I call her Vera. Any other brown coats out there? Let's hear it.
Ow,
Joel, have you watched Firefly yet?
No, not yet.
What?
All right, Joel, I'll be at your house in 10 minutes with the Blu-rays, watching Firefly all night long.
Now, hey, you let me borrow the Blu-rays. We're gonna be watching it soon. I'm finishing Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones right now. When I finish that, we'll go through it. But we were gonna invite you guys over to come watch.
By
it.
finishing Breaking Bad, which season are you finishing?
I'm only like 3 episodes into season 3, so I'm.
Oh, you're not finishing.
I'm going through.
Okay, well, are you gonna
It'll
watch?
be a while, but I can only watch so many shows at once.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's acceptable.
I think my
I
favorite.
have to add a gun to the mix here.
Okay,
The flat cannon from Unreal. There's just something
That is a-
satisfying
that
about
is a
walking
good
down the
gun.
corridor just
Yes. Good choice.
America.
I think my favorite weapon in any game so far definitely has to be the flare from Arma 2 and DayZ. And then favorite gun in real life, these two.
Those 22s.
shooting subsonic rounds.
Sorry, I totally had to do the douchebag route. No, I think my favorite gun though, I think is actually the shotgun from Half-Life 1. I just loved the left click and right click. I could do the single shot and the double shot, and it just always was so much fun. I think Half-Life 2's shotgun is really awesome too, but first Half-Life 1 was really awesome.
All right, cool. So yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and send them in to us, and we will answer them if we feel like it, or we won't. So anyway, moving on. So the last topic for tonight, or the last big topic, is the PS4. The PS4 had its big old launch announcement. I guess now it's been just over a week since it had its announcement, and for a podcast that occasionally rags on consoles and may have devoted an entire podcast to that a couple episodes ago, I was actually really excited by the announcement. Now, did anyone not watch the announcement or follow up with it later?
My connection dropped like 10 minutes into it, and dude, the rage in the chat was ridiculous. My screen was like melting from all the nerd rage when the stream died.
Well, the basic specs for anyone who doesn't know are it's an x86 AMD processor with 8 gigs of DDR5 RAM and 8 gigs of I just said RAM, and a GPU that seems to be it's an AMD GPU, probably kind of like a 7870 or a 7950, somewhere in that range, supposedly.
Have they announced it yet? Have they announced that or specs on that?
No, people are just based off the
assuming.
specs they do know. People are calculating the best they can, which actually means that the PS4, compared to computers that are available today, granted it doesn't come out for probably another 10 months, but compared to computers that are available today, it is actually pretty mid-range, like in a good way. You know, it's a pretty level with my computer as far as gaming's concerned, most likely. I've got more memory, but games don't really use that yet.
Yeah.
And my GPU and processor are like right there, so that's actually, I was very pleasantly surprised by the specs. They sound pretty beefy. What'd you
I was
guys
telling
think?
Dave, did you hear the? I was just hearing a rumor, or I don't think it's actually a rumor. I think it was from the Sony executive saying that they're gonna bump the processor speed up a little bit. They're waiting on hearing from Microsoft about the Xbox, but I think it's like 1.6 or 1.8, and they're gonna bump it up to 2 point something.
Yeah, I saw there was one website that I guess isn't good at journalism, said something along the lines of they're going to bump it up from a blazing 1.6 gigahertz to something else. I was like, blazing? My phone has a 1.6 gigahertz quad core in it. But yeah, the specs are pretty good. And I could actually see there becoming an issue out of this, since it has 8 gigs of memory. It's a pretty safe bet the Xbox 720 or whatever it's called is going to have 8 gigs of memory. And that's probably equal or more than the average PC gamer has now. I think, somewhere between 4 and 8 gigs is probably the average. And, if a console, if someone programming a game for a console, if they have 8 gigs of memory, they're going to use 8 gigs of memory. That's pretty much a safe bet. So you think PC gamers are going to have to start bumping up their memory soon?
Yeah, probably. I would say probably not within
It'll
the
certainly
first
be interesting to see how
year.
it affects the industry. I mean, it's hard to say for sure.
I think you'd have to. I think PC gaming, you'd have to probably up the memory quite a bit if it wasn't on the whatever the CPU that's the X60 or
X86.
Sorry, yeah, whatever that is. That's supposedly more PC architecture. I think
That
it's
is
close.
That is the PC architecture.
I don't know.
It's
jack
way more
squat
PC
about
architecture.
I mean,
100% more PC.
really, the way you should be looking at this is, like, at what point do we stop calling this a console and start calling it a PC with just a custom operating system? Because really,
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it
what's
is.
the difference
I mean,
at this
every
point?
console is a PC, really. It's
But this
it's
is like
a-
this is really a PC with a custom operating system.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see that. Ports from the PS4 are going to be so much easier and so much better quality. I'm excited.
They should be. They really should be, because now, like, not only are people programming games on a PC, but they're programming it for basically what is a PC. And
It's interesting thinking about all that. You're going to be able to probably, you could possibly install a PlayStation account on one of your hard drives and run that.
you mean an emulator?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure that I'm sure some hackers are already thinking of ways to do that. What I was actually hoping for was some cross-play compatibility. The first, they announced at the event that Diablo 3 is coming to the PS3, but they said it will not be cross-play compatible with the PC, which I don't think anyone was really expecting necessarily. But I think it seems like the architecture would be there, that this could be a possibility at least.
I wish something like that could happen, because even with something like Borderlands, where to play with, because I have a bunch of friends that play online with PC, but then I also have a bunch of friends like James and my friend Pierce from work that they have it on Xbox or PS3. I don't have to buy the game twice to play it.
And
where some games you guys might play for a little while, but then you go, I don't really like it. I'm like, dang it! Now I have a game that I get to play by myself, or I can play with someone on Xbox. It'd be awesome if it could work like that, at least in some games.
it'd be awesome if we did have crossplay. It probably won't happen though, just
I think
because
it's because of the updates. That's why I really think.
I was thinking because of closed systems. Like, there's a reason, Xbox, they want you to buy an Xbox to play with your friends. They want you to buy the system that all your friends have, so you all stay together and you stay with an Xbox. If you could buy a PS3 or a PC and still all play together, then they potentially lose a lot of sales. So I'd be really, really surprised if we saw any actual crossplay, but it seems like it's technically possible. So I'm just hopeful that maybe companies will not be focused entirely on profit and devote a little bit of time to the user experience, but we'll see.
I'm sorry, what were you saying about communism?
That's just my thought. Like, it seems like it should be technically possible, so I would like to see someone try it, even if it if it doesn't go well. Like, well, they tried it with the Xbox 360. What was that one game that was cross-play very, very briefly, until they were like, all right, well, the consoles can't compete, never mind. It was just 360 and PC. Does anyone else remember? It was like when it first came out.
I don't remember the name of the game, but for like the whole development, they were like marketing the fact that it was going to be crossplay, and then they got to the user testing, and basically both sides said this isn't fun, and the PC player said it's like killing retarded bots, because the response time of a mouse, it wasn't a fair competition.
Right. So what features, you guys who kept up with the announcements, what features of the new PS4 are you looking forward to?
Share button, I think, is probably my favorite. I mean, besides just the hardware that's going into it, the ability to just hop in and watch someone else play, and that's something that with a PC you can record. Cool. You can record your videos fairly easy. With PS3 or an Xbox, you have to find another piece of hardware to then, share that video with them, so you can actually hop in and watch someone else play. I don't know about the whole take over the controller thing, but I'm pretty excited to be able to, watch, a couple hours of Kingdom of Amalur while I do the dishes or something. Not that it takes me a couple hours to do the dishes. Sometimes.
But it will if I'm playing Kingdoms of Manowar.
Like, what are you doing? Go, you missed something.
All I'm gonna hear is, Joel, you missed that loot. Go back and get that loot.
We have to go back.
I mean, I think that really changes the dynamic of. I mean, it's kind of like spectator mode, like when you're watching a first-person shooter or something like that. But it's for every game. So whether it's watching a first-person shooter, watching them play, Epic Mickey or something.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a huge game seller too, I think, for people who don't want to try a demo or don't want to buy a game. If they're watching their friend play the game very easily from comfort of their couch, they could be like, hey, I think I want to buy it. And I'd wager that whatever game you're watching, they're going to have some sort of link or very easy access to be able to click, hey, buy
Oh,
it,
I'm sure. There'll
download
probably
the
be like
demo.
a little bouncing notification in the upper corner the entire time
And
saying,
I really
5% off.
I think the technology they have for downloading games, they have a separate little processor or something that's only going to be working for downloading. So
All I can say is it's about time.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, and,
That's a
and
great
the best
idea.
part is that you're able to start the game literally at like 100 megabytes. So you don't have to download 16 gigs of a demo or 5 gigs of a demo.
There are
Which is
some
something
games that I know at 100 megabytes I don't want to play anymore. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I know. That'll be. I'm really excited about that because I've gotten a few games on demand on Xbox, and they're like 6 or 7 gigs, so it takes a little while. It takes about maybe 40 minutes, depending. So that'd be awesome to be able to start playing it the way they do MMOs. I think like Guild Wars, you can literally download like a 50 megabyte client. The first map you're in doesn't take that long to download, and then it just downloads in the background. Or
Which is
depending on what level
interesting.
you're at.
Like they say you can just start immediately, but they haven't said like what minimum internet speed you're going to have to make that actually work.
Well, it won't
because-
need internet. It will just tell. Well, do you have an Apple TV?
Yes.
You know how you buy a TV show and it will, if depending if your internet's really slow or fast that day, it will say ready to play, or not, it will say ready in 30 minutes. That'd be my guess of how it's going to work. So it's like if you have fast internet, it's like, hey, ready to play within 10 minutes, or it takes 30 minutes. But I think once you play, if you're maybe really fast at the game and you get through the next level, it might have to take a longer time to load because it's actually downloading the rest of the game. But if you're really slow and loot everything like Dave, I'm pretty sure the whole game will be downloaded.
Right. I mean, I guess it's one of those wait and see things where we'll see if it actually works like they say it will, or will you like walk into the next room and the game pauses while it says buffering, and you wait for 5 minutes for it to download. Like, remember, this is the same company that has like the slowest download network of any gaming platform. So
Yeah.
I hope they've got some amazing new plan to make sure that it actually works.
Are you talking? You're talking about Sony, right? But not Gaikai.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because they're,
you
so they're. I would imagine they're completely taking their service and switching theirs out. Because Sony's is so slow.
It is. It's really, really bad. And I mean, it's bad on good internet. I can't imagine what it's like for people with like DSL or something. Like it's got to be pretty much worthless. And I mean, keep in mind, it's not like the entire country has high-speed internet access. There's going to be a lot of people buying this new console who really aren't. I don't think they're going to be able to use a lot of those internet features like they keep bragging about. Like, you think about if you're.
But then again, you wouldn't be able to use the same thing on a PC, except you can actually play the game without having an internet connection, because you can still pop in the disc and play the game.
Well, no,
Than having
that's
to
true.
Register with Origin and download a 2 gig update.
I just mean like.
So you have the option of both.
I mean, like the features, you can view over someone's shoulder, or you can swap controllers, and or you can like take control of the game remotely, stuff like that. It sounds good in practice, but did any of you guys play on live?
Yeah, I did. It's pretty bad.
I did. Even on a good internet connection, it's pretty laggy. And maybe Gaikai's really got it figured out, their compression codecs and everything like that, and maybe their back end will be strong enough that it works okay. But I guess I'm just skeptical because I haven't seen it done actually well yet.
Now, are you talking about the PS3 streaming? Because when you pre-download a game, it's actually downloading onto your hard drive. You're not actually streaming the game.
Right. It's more progressive downloading than just streaming.
Yeah, it's like being able to play Battlefield 3 as it downloads the first 500 megabytes, and then you play it. Like
No, I'm talking on live, where you're really just streaming a video of the game you're playing on a server 100 miles away or 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, they haven't talked about that much. I know they mentioned doing that for PS3 streaming, but they're not talking about doing that for PS4 games.
Well, no, but but that's what you're doing if you're like taking control of someone else's PS4 remotely. That's what you're doing is you're watching their video compressed and sent over a network. So it's the same thing.
Well, what I think would happen is if I'm watching you play and I'm not playing your game, I'll just have whatever delay it is. So right now I'm watching your webcam, so I have like a half-second delay or whatever the delay is.
Right.
But I think if I control your game, right, and you give me control of it, I think what will happen is I won't have the delay on mine. I think you're going to have the game. I doubt you'll be able to take control of a game if you don't own that game already.
You think?
So if
I don't think that's what they said.
I don't think that's what they said. That would make sense.
How would it? My own reason is, let's say if it does work really well, I could jump on Dave's PS4 and play a game I don't own through the whole thing if I wanted to. Realistically, I mean, it probably wouldn't.
Or you could drive across town and play.
Right. I say that's a lot of work for a really.
But I'm just saying,
experience.
I think you're gonna actually have to have the game. I don't.
Yeah, but
I
think the dynamic of it is that you're not going to want to play, but so much you're going to want to hop in and help maybe through a level. But I think it would be too frustrating of an experience to try to play the entire game because you want to see it in its absolute full quality on your screen. I mean,
unless you do own the game. Unless you do own the game, then maybe your game becomes the client and it sends over your character data over to his.
No,
So
there's
But
no
you're
way.
making that up, though. That's nice, but you're making that up.
There's no detail. Is there any details yet? No.
They didn't say that.
So, well, I didn't say they said that. I'm just saying that's what I suspect. That'd be my guess.
All right, let's quit while we're still friends. I think a cool streaming feature was the ability to stream PS4 games to your Vita, because that'll save them having to make any actual games for the Vita. They can just stream your PS4 games. Although they did say that won't work with every game yet, but they want it to be working when the system releases. So, we'll see.
Hey, third time's a charm.
Oh, you mean what? What are the first two?
The PSP actually had remote play capability.
Right. What was the second time?
The Vita when it was for the PS3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, only for certain games, but it was really slow too.
Yeah, it didn't really even work for many games. So.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have a Vita?
I've wanted to get one, but there just hasn't been any games I really want to get other than Uncharted.
I would buy it for that reason. If it worked well and I could play Fallout mobily somehow, that would be a day one purchase for me. Day one, well, I guess day like 375 or something like that. But
imagine playing Borderlands where we could play it with all of you guys, but I'm actually chilling in a sleeping bag out in a tent near Wi-Fi.
Because in the backyard, what Wi-Fi are you at?
Exactly. I mean, the Vita has a microphone, right? So and headphones jack, so you could be playing with the rest of you guys.
Now, something I think would be cool, and they didn't announce this, but it sounds like all the tech is there. Is you can kind of like if you have your Vita, you can turn off your TV and go into another room and just stream from your PS4 to your Vita, right? Well, what if they had like a little Apple TV like box you could plug into a TV elsewhere in the house and just use your controller, still connected to your PS4, and just stream whatever game you're playing to an actual television in 720 or 1080, whatever it can muster up, and just play like that. Like I think that would be really cool. Sell like $100 little streaming box.
I mean, you can essentially do that with a wireless HDMI. I mean, that's the one good thing about Sony's Bluetooth is that it goes everywhere.
Right.
Well, when my daughter turns it on upstairs, it's on downstairs.
Well, I mean, you're right, and you could do what Dave does and just run all the cables through your walls. But I was like, for the people who aren't going to go through all that trouble or don't know how to do something like that,
Who
just
aren't
some
real
simple,
men.
Sure. Some little simple box where you can just plug into your TV, sign into your PlayStation Network account, and then it just like finds your PlayStation 4, and you can just hit a button on the PlayStation 4, from the controller, and just beam it straight to the other box. Like that would be really cool.
Like Star Trek.
Well, pretty much like AirPlay works on Apple products. You just hit the little button and send it to the Apple TV, and then it just kind of pops up a second or two later.
Does anyone think it might actually do streaming to the Vita from anywhere if you have good Wi-Fi? Because I feel like it's just going to be like how the Nintendo Wii U does it, where the Wii U actually sends the Wi-Fi signal to the controller. So you have to be within your house.
We'll see.
it's
I mean,
That'd be
Larry
pretty.
and
That
Edward
would
or
be
not.
pretty nuts, though. If you could be playing, whatever game you wanted from your PS4 on the controller, that'd be pretty nuts.
Well, where are you
It
going to
said-
go?
it
Like, you're
said
going to go to
that-
work and then use their fast Wi-Fi to play games?
Maybe,
Yes, he would.
or your house. Just saying, it'd be awesome.
Well, they mentioned
Fallout
it. They
everywhere.
mentioned the system acting as a server, so I guess you could imply that to be a server, it would be the ability to access it outside your home network.
Right. Which, I mean, there's, the tech exists to do stuff like that. Like, I've got an app set up on my iPad Air Media server that lets me stream all my movies and stuff from my computer. My computer actually does the encoding, and it streams it to the iPad, and I can send it from the iPad to the Apple TV. So I can effectively stream movies to an Apple TV from my computer without having to go through iTunes or have MP4s. And it can be set up, if you forward a port correctly, you can actually access your whole movie collection from anywhere where you have an internet connection, kind of what you're talking about. So it really would work the same way. So it seems like it would technically be possible. It's just kind
Except
of one of
hopefully
those...
not that many steps.
No, it's not that many steps. It sounds complicated, but it's really not hard to set up at all. I mean, it works on an Apple. There can't be that many buttons or steps. But yeah, it's designed to work with one button. So... But yeah, so I think they could do it, but again, they said this was a feature that they hope to have available for all games, but it's not done quite yet. So, we'll see.
I'm excited about the controller with the touchpad.
Why?
I'm very excited about that. Just different ways to interact with games, to create, I think, emotion and like
The touchpad's going to create emotion?
Well, you've played Metal Gear, right? Have you played the other game, Heavy Rain?
I have not.
Well, I mean, you guys stuck with only keyboards and mice. If you don't play some of the games with controllers, some of the things you can do where you can...
Are you going to talk about 6-axis functions and how they're going to create emotion in a game? Because all I've done with the
I'm saying
6-axis
that
is
they can-
tilt,
they-
Drake, tilt.
No, I'm saying there's not every game that uses it well, but there's really cool games that if you tilt it or do different things while you're doing controllers, it adds a lot more than only like seeing you click a mouse button and stuff, or with the rumble function, and like opening a notepad would be really cool, swiping it back and forth, or being able to swipe across a map like in Skyrim instead of using a joystick with relative speed. You can now kind of swipe like iPhone style.
Well,
There's
there's
a,
a just to do menus in general because
There's this console
menus
called a
hitting that
Wii
stupid
you
R
might want to
button,
look
yeah.
into, and it comes with like it comes with a little wand, and you can shake it back and forth and do all kinds of things. Or you can get it Kinect, so you can sit there with your hands in the air, just like desperately yelling at it, trying to get it to recognize you. So that those options exist now.
What is it? What is a trackpad? You've never come on, you guys have used a trackpad before. I'm pretty sure.
Not
you
to
guys are smart.
game.
Yeah. Okay, then. Well, you haven't probably. Do you play any indie games?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of really cool and sometimes indie games that use gestures for different things for iPhones as well. I mean, there's a lot of cool games on iPhone. I think interacting that with various things, especially going through menus, adding that like physics that iPhone has, or most phones now, when you go through your contacts, you can swipe up, and the physics keep carrying it down, so it has a little bit of gravity instead of just scrolling down with a joystick of just only pressing, going
Actually,
like this.
I think I might be with Joel on this one. I think I like the idea of adding the touchpad and having a little bit more of like physical control. The only thing I'd be worried about is, do you have to take your hand off of the controller in a certain way to use the touchpad effectively? I wonder how that's going to
No, it looks like
going
you
to
could
be
just
right
use your
here
thumb.
where this button is, basically, on the
Okay.
PS3.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to be able to use your thumb and just be able to swipe this way or that. I think they'll be able to find a really cool method of using it.
No, I don't think I would really buy Joel's proposal that it's going to get me more emotionally involved in my games. but maybe it would be a little bit more immersive to actually scroll the map. I know Joel
I'm
does get
saying
emotional
that
about
you
his
can use
control.
it as
Like, well, if you buy Puppy
I'm saying you can use
Simulator
it as a tool.
2014, you can pet the puppy using the controller.
I'm
To
saying
bring
you can
this
use it
back,
as a tool.
yeah,
I
I think motion controls will eventually have a use. There's been a ton of cases where they're not been handled well, but I mean, if you want to talk about cases where you have motion control and PC even, if we think back to the Battlefield 2 days, anybody who was into flying, a lot of them ran a mod set that changed the camera view based on where you were looking. So you would have like 2 dots on your headphones, and your webcam plus a mod made it so that you could rotate your view just by moving your head to make it feel like a much more natural flight experience. I mean, that was one of the main reasons I didn't fly around in Battlefield 3, was because the hat button on the joystick didn't work, and that's so crucial to making a good flight experience for anybody who's been into flight simulators.
Well, and that's the precursor to the Oculus Rift.
Whoa, whatever.
It is, yeah.
Wait, does my camera look weird?
Yes.
Okay, it's back. Okay, it was doing like morphing mode.
Sorry.
Wait, where's that setting at? I want that.
It's bandwidth usage. You guys were lagging for a second, so I was turning it down. I guess that's not a good idea.
Just like
No, I was saying with the touchpad of like if you play, Uncharted is a very good example. The part when you are going through the notepad, I mean, you flick the little joystick and stuff, or on mouse or keyboard, you're pressing the W or D keys, right? Mm-hmm. I think it'd be awesome if you go like this. You can swipe, and because the touchpad has a bit of a texture to it, I think it'd be really cool. It'll make you feel like you're actually touching it, a little bit. It helps immerse you into the mood of it.
Maybe.
Okay, with games, with controllers, when you're doing, you guys only have 8 directions, where a controller has every direction. Especially when you want to play a cinematic game. Sometimes having your character move like a SNES game character, where it only can move 8 directions, breaks the immersion for me a little bit. So when you only see the character, only go diagonal or this way or that way. It was like Witcher 2. I tried playing it again, but I just can't. I just don't like the controls as much. It just feels awkward when he goes only the left direction. It's like, even when using a controller, it's like he's stuck going this way, this way, this way, or that way. It's not like a pleasant turn.
Well, he's a rook. Stop asking a rook to do a bishop's job.
Exactly. But I always thought an awesome thing to do for the Kinect or the microphone, and I don't know why they haven't done it for Dead Space 3, because they have Kinect controls with it. But you can just say like whatever plasmid or whatever the thing is, or reload. I always wanted it that it would detect when you swear, when you get freaked out by the game, to make the character like stomp or get angry. I always thought it'd be awesome if you just like, dang it, and it's like, dang straight it is. just like it would react to you saying something. I always thought that'd be really funny.
It really, from what Joel's been talking about, like with wanting to emotionally bond with games using a touchpad and wanting the game to talk back to him, I'm really getting the feeling that Joel is lonely. And
I am happily married.
Really, where is she? Don't see her. You haven't been talking about her much. You've just been talking about emotionally connecting with your video games, Joel. So.
And his mom. Oh, look at that. All right, James, internet high five right there.
Bam.
Jeremiah, have you played Journey?
No, not yet. You keep telling me to. I will, I promise.
Play that game. That is an emotional, touching game. It is.
There are emotional touching games. I don't think I've ever connected to one because it let me physically like reach out and touch.
An interesting
something.
tidbit, apparently I heard, is that they decided to keep the game at 30 frames a second at Journey instead of doing 60 frames, which they could, because it didn't look cinematic. So doing certain key things, I thought it's funny. Certain games when I play on PC that are at 60 frames per second look more like a cheesy anime than like, I mean, if you're playing a Twitch shooter and you need to have the control, 60 is going to work better. But sometimes a solid 30 frames looks better cinematically, especially for an Uncharted game.
Well, definitely.
I kind of hope the new Uncharted games don't go 60 frames, just because it looks weird. There was a video that they made showing it running at 60, and it looked really funky, and it just didn't look as immersive as the 30 frames like you're playing a cinematic movie.
Has there ever been a video game that ran at 24 frames per second?
That I'm not sure. That would be very interesting to know.
Crysis 1 on my PC.
I was gonna make a similar Arma joke when we're playing DayZ. It's in that area.
Mine's sub 24. It's like 5 frames a second.
Isn't Warzy native 24?
No, they'll add that feature in later.
I definitely feel your pain
for paid DLC.
I played through Crysis 1 on a gaming laptop that was already like 3 years old.
How the crap do you do that?
I made it, I had it optimized, like medium-high settings. I did about 25 FPS until I got to the ice section, and then I got like 8. I had to shelve the game until I could build a PC.
And that's the joy of PC gaming, I'm just saying.
Kids,
it is.
The joy of
Boys and
PC
girls.
gaming is the freedom to do it.
Or you could just be not.
If I don't want it to
like
work,
me.
I don't need it to work.
Dave.
Don't be like me and buy a gaming laptop, kids. Just don't.
All right. So
do
I believe.
Do you own a PS3,
Oh.
Jeremiah?
Yes, I do. I've owned one since
And you haven't
2007.
played Heavy Rain.
I'm sorry.
That's a game you definitely need to play.
I've played lots of games.
If you want to emotionally connect with the game, like Joel does, you should buy Heavy Rain.
I'll play Heavy Rain.
And
I don't know if I want what Joel has.
Have you played Flower?
No, I have not.
That
I have.
we're
I think his
we're
And I
mom's
don't even
calling
own
you
a
to bed
PS3.
here. Is that
Sorry.
your mom calling you to bed?
No. It's my hot wife saying hi to me. Shut up, Joel.
Yeah, Joel, it's your hot wife saying hi to him.
Wait, did I say my or your?
Nah, sorry.
Wait, which one did I say? No, for real.
You said mine.
Okay, I was like, wait a second. She can hear me.
The internet is watching.
Only you, baby. All right, moving on.
And your PC.
I was gonna say with Flower is not necessarily a it's not a game with any kind of character or action or something, but it's just a matter of using the 6 access to kind of you're just floating around, but it's kind of serene.
Wait,
So,
Chris, did you install that demo on my PS3 and play
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds familiar. I remember coming in and seeing you like flying a pedal around and thinking, well, that's
It's very
the dumbest
relaxing.
thing I've seen.
It was serene. It was like
It
all
was.
was right with
Relaxing
great
is what
ambience.
outside is for.
It's cold outside.
I don't need to sit down in front of my game console and be
But
like,
then you're not
"All right,
emotionally connecting, are you? We're not talking about like emotional connection here.
I'll just go pull up a flower and just wave it around outside. Go, "Ah."
Can you fly with it though?
I mean, I guess not, but
Maybe if it's the right kind of flower.
If you eat the right kind of flour, you can fly around.
really fast. All right, so play Heavy Rain and get back to us.
all right, yeah, that's all right. I will play Heavy Rain. Well, I need to. What other PS3 games? I want to get the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, and I'm kind of just saving my PS3 energy for Grand Theft Auto 5. But
Dude, and Last of Us. You gonna play that? You gotta play that game.
all right, I will. Okay, before we end the podcast, we have to do the very. Joel, do you have a 90 seconds prepared for us this week?
Yeah, I do. We'll have to make it really quick because we went over some of the stuff, but I've got one.
Okay, all right. This is the part of the podcast where Joel talks about stuff for about 90 seconds. Go, Joel.
Just to prove to you guys that I am a man, like I do have a Razer mouse, so
Good job.
I don't only have a controller.
Nicely decorated laser mouse at that.
You
But it's, like, really bright,
You have
though.
the Honda
Sometimes, like-
Civic of gaming mice. Good for you.
Sometimes I have the lights off. They're like
Whoa.
LED. It like shines right in your eyes. I'm like, really? Does it really need to have a giant LED?
Kind of
Yes.
matches your bandana.
Okay. Well, my question for today is, really quick. I'll go down left to right on the screen. If you could make any movie into a game, which would it be? Like, what movie would it be? It just got to be really quick.
Any
though.
movie.
Oh, I answer first.
game.
I got this
And-
one.
And what kind of game would it be?
I
Really
got
quick,
this
go.
one. Firefly and Serenity, and it would be an open world space RPG.
I was gonna say it would be a Star Citizen mod.
Yep.
I
Those
would
are both
probably do
TV shows.
go ahead.
I don't know if that's
It counts. Shut up. I want it.
that's all I want too.
What about Battlestar Galactica? No one's gonna say that.
Yeah, that too. But there's
Okay.
gonna be a Star Citizen mod for that.
All
There's
right.
already a Battlestar Galactica game. So
Yeah.
But
but-
movie, Dave, movie. I guess Serenity was a.
That's right. I said Serenity.
Yep,
You know
yep.
it.
All right,
Dave's
Chris.
in the bounds. I really can't beat that. That's probably what I'd want.
That's why I wanted to go first.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a second option here. Wow, we're kind of lame, aren't we?
No,
I'm gonna go
we're
with
just
Book of
we're
Eli.
dedicated.
Ooh.
I think Book of Eli would make a good.
Dang it!
post-apocalyptic
I literally
movie
just thought the
where you,
Book
like,
of
walk around the
Eli
wasteland and you
right
like,
when you said it.
meet people and steal loot and stuff.
The Book of Eli could just be
There
a
it
Fallout
is.
3 mod.
Oh yeah.
All right, now I've got to think of a third choice. I guess saying The Road wouldn't really count, would it?
Rugrats.
What? No.
You're thinking about movies that have already been done as games.
Yeah,
though.
movies
That's
that
true.
are-
I've got to think of a movie that's never been done. Oh, I know. The Avengers.
You seem really happy about that.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm convincing.
What kind of game would it be?
I was convincing my wife to fill my water bottle up with my eyes.
It didn't work, did it?
Fill it up with your
It did.
eyes. That's
Do you see my water bottle?
You drink people's tears?
The Avengers. No,
The tears
hear
of
me out.
console gamers.
Hold on. The Avengers would be a 5 or 6 person cooperative.
That is if anybody wanted to play Hawkeye.
Is a 5 or 6 person cooperative open world sandbox beat 'em up game, but
Whoa.
good.
I'd pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, think of all the levels are already there pretty much. That could be really, really awesome.
You should look up the Avengers video game, this like beta version of it. It was like a first-person shooter game. It actually looked kind of cool.
Well, did you ever play Iron Man on the PS3?
No, I think I played the demo.
I played the demo. Yeah, it was fun for 5 minutes, so you realize that
Yeah,
that
it
was
wasn't
really
great,
all
no.
they had for you was there are people, you can fly over to them and hit them. But
Yeah.
when you were flying around, that was a ton of fun. So if you could be that, well, yeah, that's true. It'll probably turn into fights of everyone wanting to be Iron Man or the Hulk.
Or
And then
Thor.
people...
Yeah, but that's the
And then
thing that
people
stinks
having
about
to
those
settle.
games. They always level everybody down. Like the
That's
good ones get
true.
leveled down. So Hawkeye would be just as powerful as the Hulk.
Yeah, Iron Man would be flying like 40 miles an hour.
Maybe I should be running the same speed as people were walking. So he would just be up walking. Flying.
Oh yeah, that's DC Universe Online. I picked my special power. See, water. Thank you. If you pick your special power to be flying, you fly at literally like 20 miles an hour. Like it's really pathetic.
The game I would absolutely love to have seen done after playing Walking Dead, the Telltale game, the choose your own adventure kind of game. An old movie that James got me to watch, Stand By Me. I would love a game like Walking Dead.
Stand
like
by
that
Me,
style.
like the romantic movie
No,
about the
No,
guy.
like the Stephen
No, it's
King
about the four
one.
it's
from
about the four
80s.
kids who go on a search along a railroad track, searching for
Dead body?
dead body.
Oh, I'm thinking of a
see if it-
different Stand By Me then. I was thinking the
Definitely.
We
romantic
didn't see
comedy.
that one.
Kiefer Sutherland is in it. He plays the villain in it, but it's a really good movie. It's all 50s. It's got really good music in it, but it's really cool because it gets really dramatic. It just shows childhood, but shows these kids grow up really fast because of these harrowing events. But I think it'd be an awesome just adventure going off like through these 4 characters and seeing what happens and adventure and everything.
So it would be kind of like the Telltale Walking Dead games, where it's not
yeah.
really. It's more of a story told in the form of a video game.
So it'd be like an adult story, but told through the eyes of 4 kids or a couple, like just younger kids. So you make the game feel like it's going to be very childish, but then it becomes really adult and kind of scary. I think that would be an interesting type of game.
Well, that
It's a
could
good
be
movie
cool.
to go watch. I would recommend it.
Okay,
highly.
if it's on Netflix, I'll see it.
You know
my
a game
policy.
that I could get into? One of my favorite movies is Castaway. And I think it would actually be
yeah.
amazing if you had like a really harsh survival game. Like you on a desert island, think Minecraft, but no zombies and just the elements. And like it'd be difficult, but you could craft and mold the environment to like build shelters and fires. But you know, it's constantly throwing like, you know, you kind of get up and running and then you get like a tropical storm come through and like you get seasons and you get so like the food is more plentiful. You got to find different sources. Like I could really get into that.
That's true.
So it's like this
I'd be
big
very
desolate
interested
place. Like
Yeah, like
Like-
take Crisis and then strip out all that and add in like hardcore survival mechanics.
so wouldn't that be
And
like
maybe like
playing
the
on
option to
War
have
Z
like
servers?
find a friend on the island but you don't know where he is. And so you got to like signal fires and all kinds of that could be really
That
cool.
would be really cool. You could make it really atmospheric. I like
Yeah.
that idea.
Whoa, hey, DayZ needs to have signal fires.
Oh, big bonfires.
Yeah,
The glowing red flares are already awesome. A signal fire would be sick.
but a signal fire. So when you've got the whole I don't know where the sun is and I can't find you thing, you could, if you know you're within like a mile of each other, just light a signal fire and then get 150 feet away from it.
Or
Just-
in
or
Joel's
crash
case,
a
a
chopper
bait
into
fire.
a church.
Yeah. For Joel, it would definitely be a bait fire.
All right, well that's been 90 seconds with Joel. I guess
Thanks, guys.
that was a very long 90 seconds. Dave, do you have a comment of the week for us?
Speaking of bait, I do have a comment
this
of
one?
the week.
All right.
The comment was on our DayZ Breaking Bad Episode 1 season premiere. And where did the comment go? There's the comment. This is referring to where Joel got murdered as usual. I avenged his death as usual. This is a comment by Marker051, who said, "Haha, Joel being good at baiting bad guys? He is a master baiter." To which Joel replied, "I practice a lot, thanks."
And those are the gems you're missing out on if you haven't gone and watched the DayZ Breaking Bad series yet. It really,
Joel, everybody.
It literally doesn't get any better than that.
Part killing, part running.
I don't, by part, like, mostly running, occasionally killing, decent amount of dying.
Mostly looting.
A little bit of flying to get to the loot, obviously.
Because that's where it all ends.
Do we want to recap DayZ news before we call it quits? There's not much going on, but
yeah, there's not a whole lot going on. They're doing internal testing, rockets, mocapping stuff.
Preparing
it's still
for
not out
Everest.
yet. Yeah.
I'm reading a book about Mount Everest since he's going there next month.
What is like
Whatever
emotional
it is.
support for him?
I'm just trying to feel emotional for him.
Got a lot of emotions floating around tonight. Joel.
It's a book called Into Thin Air. It's really, really good. You know, if any of you guys read, but you guys don't read because you're PC gamers.
I read all the
course I
time. What are you talking about? I love books.
No, I just like saying things that just make you angry, like PC gamers say to console people.
says the lonely console gamer.
Yeah, you just spent a long... Never mind. I ain't even going to go into it. Okay, was there any other DayZ news?
If you guys haven't watched the mocap video, it's a long watch, but definitely go check it out. It's on Dean's YouTube channel. You can check it out there. I think it's like youtube.com/Dean Hall, but if you just Google Dean Hall YouTube mocap, it'll probably be the first result. You guys should be able to Google things okay.
Well, until we tag this video 100 times with Dean Hall mocap.
No.
Do we even still have those 3 viewers?
Yeah, well,
people
actually, we've gone as high as 5 viewers, and now we are back down to 3.
2 people were like, heck with this.
One of them was Tiger saying, are they still doing this?
All right, guys. Well, I think that is going to be the podcast for this week. Does anyone have any parting shots before we go?
Something PC Gamer Master Race. I don't know.
Hey, if you want to play Crisis 3...
Oh, wait. We have that important announcement, Dave.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, it's not, I don't know if I call it an important announcement.
Is this the one with you and my mom?
All right, so about a month and a half ago, we had a night where instead of recording the podcast, we played the Arma 2 mod Wasteland with you guys, the subscribers, and it went really, really awesome. We had an awesome time. It was just me and Dave that played with you guys. We had probably like 10 to 15 people on.
Yeah.
And it was really, really fun. So we're going to do it again. We're going to do it next Thursday, the 7th of March at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7th of March, Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m.
That's -5 GMT, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
For those like to calculate stuff.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We do have some European viewers. I was thinking, we're lucky that we live in Eastern Standard Time. I don't have to calculate most of the time. I can, a lot of things run off this, so I'm kind of spoiled. America. Anyway, Wasteland. So Wasteland next Thursday. It'll be a really awesome time. Any of you guys, who are on the podcast right now, you guys should definitely join in if you can. And anyone who's listening, just follow us on Twitter at JERMgaming and at Evil Viking or Evil Viking 13.
At Evil Viking. You get it right this time, and then you backtracked.
I'm sorry. At Evil Viking.
One day, Jeremiah. One day you'll get my Twitter right.
We will be tweeting out TeamSpeak server and the which server we're going to be playing on, everything like that. So just follow us on Twitter. And it was a really awesome time last time. If you came out last time, we expect to see you on there.
Hey, can we get Joel to lead a squad this time? Like just Joel squad, like literally.
We can.
Commander Joel.
Only if
I would
I
recommend
get separate voice chat where you guys can't hear.
If Land Yachts this time, Joel, I recommend hopping in whatever vehicle he's driving because he runs people over like nobody's business. So I highly recommend that. But yeah, anyway, next Thursday, come join us. It's gonna be a really awesome time. And then with that, I think that's the podcast for this week. So thank you everybody for coming out and joining in, and thank you everyone for watching, all of you. and we will see you guys next time. So
See you guys.
bye, everybody.